Hi, you're with IndiaPostLive.com, India's first live interactive web television. This is your very own platform where you can write about issues, you can join our discussions on the various issues we talk about. You can send us your tweets at #IndiaPostLive and @IndiaPostLive. Well, social media. Social media is a great way to stay connected with your friends and family. It is a platform where, like India Post Live, you can write about issues you care about. You can write about your feelings and your take on various issues that are happening around the world. And here comes the double-edged sword. If you are a job aspirant or looking for a better career opportunity, be aware of what you are posting online. Current and potential employers are looking at your Facebook page. They are looking at your Twitter handle. They are learning about your personal life, your take on issues, and they are deciding whether or not to hire you or fire you. Take a look.
Social media can be a vital tool in your job search, as it facilitates networking and allows you to display and publicize your professional skills. But the same social media can be a hindrance to your chance of getting that great new job you're aspiring for. A survey by Career Builder India has found that 68% of Indian companies are rejecting job seekers after finding negative details about the candidates. As many as 59% employers are currently using social media to research on job candidates, while another 33% are planning to access the platform soon. So, what are employers finding on social media that's prompting them to eliminate candidates from consideration? The most common reasons are: candidate lied about their qualifications, 50%; candidate had poor communication skills, 50%; candidate posted provocative or inappropriate photographs or information, 47%; candidate shared confidential information from previous employer, 42%; candidate posted information about their drinking or drug habits, 38%; candidate was linked to a criminal behavior, 35%; candidate badmouthed their previous company or fellow employees, 32%. Most of us don't realize how what's on Facebook, Twitter, and other services can keep us from getting hired. But it is a reality. It is becoming more and more common for a social media presence to be looked at to judge an applicant's suitability. Perhaps we should be taking a long, hard look at our social media footprint. The question we are asking though is this a fair way to decide whether or not a candidate should be hired?
So social media has given companies a window beyond your resume and into your life. Well, that is quite likely to leave many people worried, and I confess I'm one of them. Let's get a clarity on what this entire thing is about and what exactly people mean when they say they are looking at our Facebook pages and our Twitter accounts. Joining me online, I have Aruna Deva. Aruna Deva is Manager HR of Thomson Digital. Hi, welcome to India Post Live.
Thanks.
It's a pleasure having you, ma'am. I also have Sumit Ranjan. Sumit is a social media consultant and he joins us. Thank you so much, Sumit, for joining us from NCR. How are you?
Thank you. I'm fine, thank you.
Great.
It's
All right.
my pleasure to join you guys.
Thank you so much for talking to us. Okay, let me first get Aruna Deva on the line. We just got this statistic about how 59% of companies, as much as 59%, are looking at our or potential job aspirants' social media pages. Why would one be doing that? Why is a CV now or a resume now not enough?
If you look at the CV of the candidate of similar profiles, you find moreover the CV same, and it doesn't give in-depth understanding of the client's, potential candidate's aspiration and his actually the value and his social and the cultural circle. But if I'm looking at a senior position, I certainly because in a interview of 10 minutes, 15 minutes, maybe half an hour, it's sometimes, and why sometimes, most of the time, it's really very difficult to get in the head of a person
Right.
and to understand how socially, how culturally will you fit within an organization. Because if you talk about your competencies and then you talk about a person's social or the cultural behavior, the other the part. So if my competencies are matching, but this person is not in my organization, it has no value for me because I may find these competencies, these skills in various people, but moreover, will be able to work as a team, will be able to achieve success, will be able to reach our goal. Then it becomes very critical that he becomes part of the organization and becomes part of the team. Therefore, the social media comes as a big help to us, is it
Right.
for
Right. Point taken, ma'am. Point taken. But would a social media post or should I use the word should a social media post be a criterion to reject a candidate? For example, there could be political differences. I mean, you have a very strong political view about something, and the person might be professionally very good, the CV might be strong, but maybe politically the person has a different view, say on the Gaza issue, something like that. Would you use that? Because somewhere, a personal, especially when you have a very strong feeling about something, a very strong stand on something, and you see an opposing stand that the other person has taken, you might just decide to eliminate.
we are not entirely going by the social media,
Okay.
but it is an added value. It is not like a person will be selected or rejected based on the social media post,
Huh.
but yes, it is indicated, right? If we get an indication that person has very strong views about a political party and the situation and the position is such where it's very important,
Right.
right? Then we'll take as one of the input from social media, but not maybe reject or select a candidate based on that.
Okay, so I think the biggest challenge for you, ma'am, would be to ensure that your personal views and the candidate's personal views are not really taken into account and you're just thinking of the company. Am I right?
Yes, we are thinking about the company first.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for clarifying that. Let me bring in Sumit now. Sumit, uh, social media is everywhere now for all those of us who are using internet. What should a prospective job seeker do? If a job seeker knows that, okay, I'm applying for a job or I'm looking for better opportunities, should one tweak one's Facebook pages, the last few posts? I mean, what does one do?
Well, so to begin with, like ma'am was rightly saying that these days social media is your extended personality. You
Yes.
cannot just look at a CV or cover photo, cover letter, and you can decide what kind of person is going to apply for the job.
Totally.
So many people or many organizations these days they want to see the online behavior. You know, so many people these days they are like facing serious professional repercussion for some silly tweets or Facebook updates which that they have done recently just before the interview. Also, the online behavior or what and how your take is on particular issue or event or things in general in life has a lot to do with your personality. Now, any organization which are tech savvy or suppose are very conservative or image conscious organization, they'll make sure they don't end up with employees who are very nonchalant about their image or who are not very casual or very, their approach is very politically incorrect, if I can say, about their own personality. They don't want to get attached to them. Having said that, it is not about you can't post a picture with your friend or if you are in a restaurant or with a bottle of beer. It's
Right.
about how you basically pass comment on certain thing, how you how you pass remarks or what is your outcome on a certain event which has recently happened. It does say a lot about what kind of person you are. And then I think 20 to 30% of what kind of personality you carry can very much be observed by these social media updates which you do every day to day.
Right. Right. Let me let Aruna get Aruna ma'am back. Ma'am, being an HR manager, of course, you deal with a lot of psychology of people. Now, again, people might go through bad phases. A person might be going through a very difficult personal phase, and that will definitely reflect somewhere or the other on social media. And suppose at that point in time, or you come across certain posts on the Facebook page or certain tweets which kind of reflect that. And that is surely to create a negative impression about that person, whereas that person might be a phase. So what do? How do you decide these things? Really, I think it's a challenge, isn't it?
You are very right. It's a challenge to decide at that particular point of time, or when a person is going through a very difficult phase.
Yeah.
See, as I told earlier, the Facebook or social media is indicative or is of the person's personality. If somebody is really going through a difficult phase, we also understand. After all, we are also human beings, right?
Right.
But it depends, what is the criticality of the position, and at what level are we hiring that person, and how his personal life or how the difficulties can affect the performance of that person. For example, if you're hiring a very junior level person and this person is going through a very personal problem and difficult phase, maybe we ignore that. We do not take into consideration. But if you're hiring, let's say, the CFO of the company, or we are hiring the VP of, let's say, HR, we may consider, or we would like to consider these things also. So I think it's all depends upon the position we are hiring and the difficulties which we, from the human perspective, can be understood or not. That we understand it's a small phase and will be over within some time. It's understood. So, but it's an indicator, right? And we can also see that how does he represent face to face when we're talking to him, and how does he present on his social media. So that's a discrepancy, or any variance can easily be seen, and then we can understand the personality better.
Right. Please, Aruna ma'am, Sumit, please stay with us. Please stay with us on the show. We are going to tell you, we spoke to some people out there on the basic questions that they were asked in some of their interviews. And none of them were told pointedly by any of their employers that we are looking at your social media platform. This is what they had to say about the questions they are normally asked.
The most weirdest question I have ever been asked is, do you smoke?
One of the interviewer asked how many girlfriends you have, and when are you planning to get married?
How many boyfriends you have? What do you think about your looks?
There are a lot of questions. One of them is like where you see after 10 years, 5 years, and they are more concerned about families. What your family they are into, what your wife is doing.
Looks, marriage, family. Aruna ma'am, how relevant is a person's social profile to the company, or is it subjective? Does it differ from company to company?
It does differ, but I would say the marriage, like for example, I'm hiring a trainee, and if I'm hiring a trainee and this trainee is already 28 years and a female, I would expect that she would go away maybe within a year's time, or maybe 2 years' time, because she's at a marriageable age. So that is a consideration for me before hiring her, because now we are going to spend a lot of energy and time on her training. If she spends 1 year in her training, understanding the business, understanding the procedural systems, and after 1 year she's gone, she's she hasn't contributed much in the business of the company. Therefore, the marriage is certainly can be one of the criteria for selecting a candidate. And second, you says is looks. Now, if I'm working in a media company and where you are going to be going live, right? Your looks does matter.
Whether we like it or not, yeah.
So it is not matter of fair or unfair. I mean, it's a matter of like, are you presentable? I mean, will this work or not? Or your looks are, are presentable or not? And third thing you said?
I talked of family background. That was what people said, yeah.
Family background. Yes, when we select a candidate, the pedigree is really very important. Like if, for example, I'm hiring a person for a international position, I need to see that where he's coming from, what's his general awareness, and generally, if you see that if the parents are educated and they're also professionals, they also bring up their children in a similar manner. So therefore, the family is also very important when we're hiring different positions.
All right.
For example, if I'm hiring for a voice process, I may not look at the pedigree. I just may look at your communication skills. How do you speak? How well can you communicate with the client or the customer? So it all depends upon the position. It all depends upon the level where I'm hiring a person.
Yeah.
So it is very, very subjective to my mind.
Absolutely. Subjective. Subjective is the key word. Sumit, also, you have a lot of people who Google people, to search, not just social media in terms of Facebook and, LinkedIn perhaps, but also Google. You randomly Google a name and you find out if there's anything that has been said about a person and all of that. So, some tips, please, from you to all of us on what are the things that, one should really be careful about.
Well, the first of all, don't get into the kind of like, of course, if you are in any kind of crisis, and these days, whatever crisis you do, you're suddenly going to be appear online. So those things are there, but then these are the extreme cases. But even if people are going to Google you, there are you need to build your. I'm talking about those companies who would really look into your social media, accounts. In that case, I think the best is you need to build your own profile online so that if people Google, first thing which should appear is not anything which is nasty you have done, but things which you have done which are good, something which you want to show, right? So possibly, I think a blog where you talk about yourself, where you talk about the kind of activities you do. So basically, create your own profile and mention the good things, the achievements, the kind of person you are, the kind of personality you carry, all these things in a blog. Or also you can link these things through your Facebook, to your LinkedIn, to your Twitter. And this is, if people would Google, these are the first things which is going to come, which is going to appear. So yeah, stay away from all the nasty things online.
All right, stay away from everything nasty, and of course, your family, your looks, your how many boyfriends you have and how many girlfriends you have, and when you are going to get married. These are all issues that potential recruiters are looking at, whether you like it or not. Your Facebook page is out there in the open for people to see and form an opinion about your personality and whether or not you're suited for the company. But like Aruna ma'am said, a lot of it is subjective. A lot of it depends on the company that is actually looking at it and the company's requirements and your own personality. All right, thank you so much, Aruna ma'am and Sumit. It was great having both of you to talk to, and we learned a lot. And I don't know how much of fears have been allayed. I hope some of it has been allayed by all of you who are watching the show. Thank you so much once again, Sumit and Aruna ma'am, for joining us. Be very careful. It is a stark reality. It is a grim reality, perhaps. Your social media footprint is being watched, is being viewed, and opinions are being made. So if you want that job, be very careful about what you're posting out there. And all of you, please post your comments on what you thought about this show on indiapostlive.com. Send us your video comments, your posts, and of course your tweets at #IndiaPostLive and @IndiaPostLive. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.